Hello, I'm Bryce Brown, a New Zealand artist. Welcome to my studio. I thought I'd take this opportunity to get a lot of my work out that I've sort of got stacked in the corner and a little bit hanging on the walls, sitting on some easels. It's spring, it's a very springy day today, it's blowing like anything outside. So it's a good time to get these works out, dust them off and show you what I've got in here. Like any, excuse me, I just made a coffee. Yeah, it's a good coffee. Like any art or anything in life really, we've all got different tastes. Obviously including me as the creator of the works. I like some of them more than others, and I try and remain as subjective as I can when I'm looking at any artwork, and just try and see you know, more than what I like or what I don't like in the work, which sounds a little bit odd when it comes to my own paintings, but I think you have to sometimes take that approach because otherwise you can be a bit hard on yourself. So anyway, I'll show you a little bit closer up what I've got, and I've got fixed pricing on most of these works, but some of them I'm very open to what you might like to offer. I've got basic guide prices, I guess you could say, on a lot of them, but honestly, you know, there's elements in some of the paintings that don't quite work for me, but that doesn't detract from the fact that they could be something that somebody absolutely loves and wants. So if that's you, definitely shout out and let me know. So we'll have a look and I'll show you what I've got. So this is a piece, it's gone through several phases and I like it. Really like the expression. It's got a very demure kind of demeanor, if you like. And what I've tried to do when I've reworked it is, I can't even remember what the original color palette was, but I've brought these soft pinks and blues into the background, just to almost like one of those old studio photos that they used to do back at the turn of the last century. So I'm open to offers on that one. It's a decent size. I think it's about 1 meter by 70 centimeters. All my measurements are in metric, sorry, America. If you're in America, you'll have to convert them. This is called Across the Sound, which I really like. It's a really cool perspective, and it's painted on a white gessoed ground, which I've applied very thin, almost transparent layers of colour to, and some of it is almost pointillist. So all those are dots making up the finished painting, and then very fine brush strokes for the grass, and you can see the wind, which is quite appropriate for the moment in New Zealand. So yeah, this guide price for this, if you think around 2,500 New Zealand, but I'm negotiable on that. And that's about 1 meter square from memory, or maybe a little bit less. That's approximate without getting my tape measure out. Olive tree painting, which I really like. That's just been sort of stowed in the corner for some reason, I don't know why. Sometimes I put work away and I get it back out and have another look with fresh eyes, and sometimes it just kind of blows me away, and this is kind of one of those pieces. I just love I don't know, it's almost like a father and daughter planting an olive tree together, which could mean, it could be symbolic for all sorts of things. So yeah, guide price for that would be around 2,000. Obviously not framed, any of these ones. Hopefully that won't fall down. This one's a little bit unusual in the fact that it almost looks like the same four men in different poses, but they're all looking at this figure. Maybe there could be different ages of the same person. I'm not too sure actually, but it's based at Otara Wairiri Bay. If you've been there, it's just over the hill from Ohope Beach. And as you walk down, you see these rocks in the distance that you can walk around and have a good look at. It's a really intriguing place. I've painted it a few times. There's a couple of things that I really love about this painting. Is that one is the narrative, really. It's good. It's a good talking piece. I love the colour palette. It's got really good contrasts in it, and the perspective. I like how it draws you through the piece and into the distance. So yeah, let me know what you think about that one. If it's something that interests you. It's not framed, but I can frame any of these. I frame my own work. So a guide price for that would be 2,000. So yeah, these are kind of spring clean out studio prices, if you like. Those are all have just been stacked in the corner. This is Woman Bathing Her Feet, framed. Really like this piece. It's got a very Mediterranean, Pompeii kind of feel about it to me. I've been there, and there's definitely a Mediterranean influence on some of my work because it had an influence on me. So yeah, this piece framed. All of these have been on canvas so far. This piece framed, 2,500, which is a good price for a really good painting. Signed. And bear in mind that these are one-off, absolutely unique, original works of art. This piece is Long Bay, Auckland, or my depiction of really increased the intensity of the colour palette, which I really like. And you've got Rangitoto Island in the background, Torbay, and if you've been to the area you'll know this scene. One of the best skies I think I've painted. I mean, the sky alone just makes this piece. And then when you look at this, it's almost like abstract in itself, and then that in contrast with the sky and the depth created with Rangitoto in the background. I think it's a really cool piece. No figures in it, which is very unusual for me, and I think that might be one of the reasons why I still have it. Although to me, it's just such a cool piece. I'm pretty firm on the price for that one of 2,900 framed. If you want to know specifically the sizes of any of these, just let me know. And I can also, if you send me a photo of the wall that you've got in mind, if you have a wall in mind, take a photo square on with some approximate sizes, you know, say between two doorways or something like that, and I can actually magic one of the paintings onto that photo and show you what it would look like without actually putting it on your wall. This is a cool piece. Olive tree, tomatoes it's called, similar to the olive tree painting. Won't go too much into detail, pretty self-explanatory. Got a bit of a Mediterranean feel again. In fact, when you look at this one and the woman bathing her feet and the olive tree, They've all got a similar vibe. Something interesting I've said to people is all these years of painting, almost 30 years of painting and exhibiting in galleries, it doesn't really matter what I paint now. It's identifiable as one of my paintings. These were a little bit experimental, I guess you could say. I did sell one, I think, oh no, I sold two, so I did a series of these. I really played around with the colour palette, trying, obviously complementary colours, just to see how it would work and try and convey something in the most simple way I could. I can sell these individually for framed. I can sell them for $1,200 each, or if you were really keen, I would sell the pair for $2,000, which is a really good price. Can't believe I just said that, but they're sitting in the corner of the studio. I've had them in galleries and they've come back. Just the right person hasn't walked in and seen them, really. That's all it comes down to. It's easy as an artist to be a bit hard on yourself and say, oh, they can't have been very good paintings because no one's bought them, but that's not the case. The right person has to walk in and fall in love with the work enough to want to buy it and put it on their wall. This piece is actually Piha in West Auckland. You might recognise Lion Rock. And when I painted it, I had already painted this background colour in. And I had the intentions of just using that as a ground colour. Not the typical black sand of the west coast in New Zealand, but it's almost as if the light is bouncing off the damp sand, and I just wanted to create a lot of light and a lot of contrast. So yeah, I really love this painting. Lion Rock, pretty iconic. Waves crashing in, storm in the distance, creating this contrasting light. And I've got 3,500 on this framed, and I'm pretty firm on that. I know it'll sell eventually when the right person sees it. So carrying on, this piece next. This is called Sea Views, which really fits the painting. It's almost got a prospector's kind of vibe going on, and often in real estate the term sea views is used, as you would know, often a selling point of a property. And these guys look like they've got the documents, little house there in the background. He doesn't look like a particularly nice guy. He kind of does. Kind of looks like he understands the situation, and he's a bit sympathetic. Looks like he likes his pies. He's got documents too. And then this guy looks like the landowner who's sort of resigned himself to the fact that, the property's got to be sold for whatever reason. This shape on the horizon is typically New Zealand, whether you're talking about an island, volcanic island, or a par site or whatever. New Zealand looking trees. Although in saying that, this could be anywhere in the world. And I've kept quite strong colours through this too. Colours that you wouldn't really find in nature, but I just liked the way they came together. So yeah, framed. It's quite a decent sized piece. I think it's about 1.2 meters by 60 centimeters, and that one is also 3,500. And then you've got this piece, which I really like as well. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. It's called Poise, and she's very strong determined looking figure. Really good movement in the clothing, and I really like how these colours hit in here. You've got these violet colours contrasting strongly against the turquoise and the green and the brown of the chair. It's got some really cool stuff going on in it. And I often try and remind people, you see the image and it's really easy to get stuck on the image, but to try and forget about the image for a little while and just see what else is going on in a painting. Like, just kind of zoom in and see it for what it is. It's a painting, and somebody has used paint, well, in my case I have used paint to create an image, but also some kind of magic with the paint, really, with contrast and texture and light and shade. So Poise has been in my studio for a while. It's been in a couple of galleries, and it's a very strong piece. It might not be to everybody's taste, but it's definitely, she really grabs your attention when you walk into the room and look at her on the wall. I would sell that for $2,500 framed. So let me know. I'll probably be a little bit negotiable on that one. I'll come back over here. This is an older piece, and it's similar to the one I showed you with the woman looking across the sound with the wind, in the sense that, sorry, there's a bit of shadow on there, in the sense that I've used a very fine gessoed ground on canvas, and I've applied semi-transparent layers of paint. So the light that you're seeing there is actually coming through the paint from the background, which is quite a traditional way of painting. Even though I paint with acrylic, I painted in the style of oil paints. So this is Cape Kidnappers near Gisborne on New Zealand's east coast, and it's famous for being a gannet colony, and to me this is the first gannet coming into land. And I haven't painted many birds, but I'm really happy with how this one came out. It's a very soft painting, and I'm probably going to reframe it. The frame doesn't really quite work, you probably can't see it. As it is in this frame, or without a frame, I would sell it for, I'm pretty negotiable on this, it's been around a while. I would be happy to sell it for under 2,000. If I put a new frame on it, it would be 2.5. So yeah, let me know if you like that piece. Size is about 1 metre by 60 centimetres. Then you've got this one, which is called A Bit of a Chat. It's experimental. I painted a very, very small version for went in a book, which I will show you if I can find it. Okay, so I found the book, and this is it. So the book is Contemporary Artists from New Zealand Kiwi Consciousness, and it was produced by Luciano Benetton, the fashion house, and the publication, or the series of books that were put out, Imago Mundi. And so this is the one that I painted, which is tiny. They were 10 by 12 centimetres. Also painted the back of them. And it was called Small Talk. And so I decided to do a bit of a chat as well, which I've still got. And I'm very negotiable on this. I would just about give it away with another painting if you were to buy something from me. Could be a freebie, or if you're interested in it as it is, you could have it for $900, which is a steal. It's quite small. It's only about 50 by 70 centimetres. It's got a little bit of crazing I just spotted going on, but I must have painted over top of something else. But I actually quite like that in a painting sometimes. Probably crazed as much as it's going to be. Adds to the character. It is signed, as you can see. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's a perfectly good painting. So yeah, let me know if you're interested in that. Alright, we'll move on to this one, which is called The Proletariat, and it's basically just a celebration of the working class all working together. Really interesting composition, I think, how they all fit in so tightly together, and making or packaging something generic, who knows what. They do have a slight, or she does, they do have a slight Asian look to them. And I've called it the Proletariat because it's sort of a celebration of the working person. And I've used a lot of pink colour because politically pink is slightly left, not completely hard left, which is obviously red, but pink suggests strong social thinking, if you like, which is, you know, important as far as keeping things running goes and looking after the average person, as far as my political views go anyway. Got this one on the wall. I can't remember the order of the title. It's Sea Before Me, Land Behind Me, or the other way around, I can't remember. It's written on the back of it. But it's quite an immediate piece. I haven't overworked it. It's framed. It's on masonite, so it's a hard board. And it's not big, it's a smaller work. I think it's about 50 by 70 centimetres. And good painting, it's not that old. I think it was briefly shown in a gallery, but it is just in my studio. It'd be good to see it on somebody's wall. And I would let that one, it's only a small piece, I would let that one go for 1,500 if you were interested. I think I've got one more piece I'll show you. No, I've got a couple more actually. I've got this one here, which I think I just called Cafe. And it's a bit unusual, the perspective is very different. It will definitely suit somebody. And it's peeping through the window to, I think it's St. John's Church in, where is that? Parnell. So International Arts Centre would be across the road there, but I haven't included it. Compositionally it just wasn't working to have a big grey building there. And it's got some cool stuff going on. A lot of people have commented it looks like there should be a cigarette in her fingers, but I didn't know if that was the right thing to do, so I omitted that. She's got her espresso. She looks pretty comfortable. Got her little slip-on shoes on. It's quite a cool painting, now that I've got it back out and had another look at it. Not framed. I'm very negotiable on it. I'd let that one go. Make me an offer that I can't refuse. You might be surprised. And I'll show you one more piece before I go. Quite rare for me, an abstract. And this is very unusual in the fact that it's actually 6 individual stretched canvases mounted together. And when I painted it, I had this idea of a flow from one piece to the next, but I wanted that flow to be slightly broken. So I've called it ebb and flow, and it's lots of things. It could be life force, as in sanguine, sort of life force, blood colours, and aqua, water, and pathways leading through them, or arteries, if you like, or roads. Could be almost like an aerial view of a map, with the roads being slightly disconnected. And it's all obviously framed together. Now, I shuffled the panels around until I was happy with the order and then finished it. I'm really happy. The texture in it is unreal, actually. It's a really interesting piece because of that, and the fact that it's open narrative. Plenty to talk about. I'm pretty fixed on the price of this. I've always said I wouldn't sell it, but I would to the right person for the right price. It's probably a $4,000 painting. And like I say, I'd be hesitant to let it go. It would have to really go to the right person. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me on this little tour of the gallery, studio, sorry. It's not really a gallery, kind of looks like a gallery at the moment. If you like anything that you've seen, let me know. What are we now? Sort of mid-September 2025, so that's the date that we're in right now, obviously. So if you're looking at this in 6 months' time or a year, things may have changed, but still get in touch. You never know, there might still be something that's here that is still available. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at Bryce Brown Art. Same with Facebook. My art page is Bryce Brown Art, and my website, which is not very up to date, but it's got a lot of good information on there, is www.brycebrownart.com. So we'll see you maybe in another video sometime in the future. I don't do too many of these. If you want to see my work in person, get in touch. You will be able to get in touch through either of those or any of those social media or website links. And if you're in Auckland, pop into Devonport Flagstaff Gallery. You can see my work there. And if you're in the Bay of Plenty, like I say, you can either come and see me, or I also have work at For Art's Sake at Ohope Beach, which is always a good place to visit. A couple of cafes there, a nice walk over the hill to Otara Wairere Bay, which I've shown you in a painting. And we'll talk to you soon. Hopefully I'll hear from you, and we can talk about putting one or more of these paintings on your wall. See ya.